The question was, Sam, I'm going to ask you a question.
Hey everyone, so it's Saturday morning. I'm staying at Aaron's place, so I'm just going to go wake him up. So he does actually have a spare room, but he told me last night that he really wants to sleep in his van for no reason. So I'm just going to go over there and make sure he's awake on time. Sick. Can't come by the way. Just that something. How did you sleep? Wait, you slept without a duvet?
No, I've got duvet.
Oh, okay.
Mate, it's so rough.
What do you mean?
It's so rough.
Oh yeah, because you slept on the wooden board, mate.
No, it's comfortable.
The plan today is, me and Aaron are going back to my old college. I'm going to go to college, pick up all my belongings, which have been there since I left last year, and then we're going to drive down to London, drop off all my stuff, and join the Optical Wander photo meetup. Yeah, hopefully it'll be a fun day. I'm going to try and vlog as much as I can. Got a list of questions that I want to ask photographers as well, so stay tuned for that. Got the keys from the Porter's Lodge, so I'm just going to go back to where I used to live and pick up all my belongings. My old room is that?
Second or third?
Yeah, old room right there.
Oh, you're filming that?
I am, yeah. Oh, fuck's sake.
Oh my god.
Are you joking?
You are joking.
It's fucked. I think we can just start by pulling all the shit out. I roughly have like 5 boxes and like a couple of oh my god, this is gonna be awful, isn't it? Welcome back everyone. Me and Aaron have finally finished all the moving shit and we were a bit late, but we finally made it to the Optical Wander photo meetup. Everyone's on the move now, so I'm going to take you with me. And what I'm going to do today is I have a list of Instagram questions that you guys submitted and a couple of my own questions, and I'm just going to walk around and ask different photographers these questions. And hopefully it'll be interesting, and I look forward to having a fun day. If you could only have one prime lens, which one would it be and why?
This one right here, Sony 85 1.8, because it blurs out the background loads, looks great for portraits, great for pretty much anything walking around, and on full frame it's a perfect focal length to just do whatever you want.
Why did you get that one over the
Samyang?
Yes.
This one's smaller, and the difference between 1.8 and 1.4 isn't really a big difference. If you look at it, it's a third of a stop, I think. So it's not that big of a deal to me, and this is just a much smaller, lighter and cheaper lens.
Oh, it's cheaper?
Yes, I got it cheaper. I got it used, so it was cheaper.
Okay, Tom, so you're actually going to answer your own question, which is submitted on Instagram.
The question is, what new gear I'm going to buy, what's my next gear. So the first thing is I'm using this North Face bag, and it's really inconvenient because it's really hard to get in stuff, it's not that big. So the next thing I'm probably going to buy is a camera bag. So I'm thinking of buying the same bag that Mike has, he's just over there. And then after that, once I've got the camera bag, I'm probably going to buy this small rig, like L bracket, that will go around the bottom of the camera. It just means I can put it on the tripod like that. I can put it on the tripod like that without having to twist the tripod, and it means I can rest my camera down without damaging it. So yeah, that's the next 2 bits of gear I'm planning on buying.
Sounds good, thanks a lot, Tom.
It's alright.
Was what's the favorite photo you've taken? What's the story behind it?
Yeah. Ready?
Yep.
My favourite photo I took was the very first photo we got printed, actually. It's the first photo I ever got printed. and it was the first photo I took that made me realise I could start taking photos of anything and it would look good. So I first started taking photos of BMX stuff, so I was always out at skate parks, because everyone's doing sick stuff, you want to take photos of it, and I was the guy with the camera. So the only point of shooting photos was to make sure that the BMX trick or the skateboard trick was looking good. Now, I'll put the photo on screen, Jimmy will put the photo on screen. We went to the Humber Bridge, which is between Hull and Lincolnshire. You'll see it on screen. Amazing piece of architecture. And one of my friends, Ben Tower, was doing a tail whip on the bridge. We took the photo at 4 AM because the bridge had to be empty. The sun was rising in the background. It was the first time I took an image and I thought, that's not just a BMX image. Like, that is wallpaper worthy, print worthy. Like, we're gonna remember that. Not only is it a good memory because we had to get up at 4 AM, it was a school night. I was like 15 when I took the photo. So it's like all these things added up, and I was like, the process of taking that image was so much fun. I need to do that more often. Instead of, which beforehand was like, oh, I just gotta take a good photo of the BMX trick. I took this photo and I was like, holy shit, that process was so good. I'm just gonna start doing that more often. So that photo now is what, 7 years old? It's still my favorite photo I took. Just because it like ignited that, oh my god, photography's sick, I wanna keep doing this. I still don't think I've taken a photo good enough. Actually, to be fair, you'll see in the photo, the shutter speed's too slow. I didn't know what I was doing. So the shutter speed was like 1/200 and he's doing a tail whip and the bike's moving quick. So the wheel's a little bit blurry, but lesson learned. Still my favourite photo.
That's awesome, that's a great story. Thanks a lot. The question was, how did you get into photography?
So, I first started when I was in the army, so travelling a lot, seeing all these different parts of the world. I just got such an interest, and my phone didn't do it for me at all. Just wanted that little extra bit to really like remember what I've done in the army, and yeah, bought a small camera, £200 pre-owned, battered that, took that everywhere around the world with me, and then thought I would invest a little bit more because I liked it. So yeah, took that with me, and that's where I am now.
That's awesome. That's great.
Everyone's just arrived at One You Change, which is a very iconic spot. I think I actually talked about this in my previous POV, but I just wanted to talk about it again. It's such a cool location. But this was one of the first places that I headed to when I started doing street photography back in April 2021. And it's just a great place. You can get basically 3 same calls in the same photo. I'll put the example up on screen. And this was one of my very first like sort of Instagram hypebeast-esque edits where I used a gradient filter to try and create like a fake golden hour look by dragging the gradient filter in one of the corners and just changing the color temperature to very, very orange. But yeah, just wanted to share the spot because it doesn't mean a lot to me, but it does have some sentimental value because it's one of the first places that I started shooting in.
Aaron, how's the look-up shot, mate? Did you get it?
We were doing some yoga on the floor, and then the plane actually flew over.
Well, plane actually flew over?
Yeah, so we almost got it, but
did you get it?
Just put one in post.
Fix it in post, yeah?
Exactly.
In One You Change. Sam, I'm going to ask you a question. If you could give one piece of advice to a beginner photographer, what would it be?
Stop overthinking. Stop trying to be like bigger photographers, because it's a process, and eventually you'll get to that point. But if you're trying to be at that point when you first start, you'll never get there because you're always chasing your own tail trying to get to that point. You have to incrementally get bigger and bigger and get to that stage. It's like in school, you can't just go from grade 1 to grade 10, you have to go through the motions to get to that point.
That's great. That's funny you say that, because I was literally just talking about this spot and how I tried to recreate your shot in the One You Changed. Now I was looking at your photo and trying to recreate the edit that you did. I think you used the gradient filter in the corner to make like the orange tint in the corner.
Yeah.
I would say that's actually at times useful, because you look at someone who's really good and you're like, how the hell did he get that, you know, fake sunset or the golden hour look? And then it's
good to aspire to be somebody, and it's really good to actually imitate what other people do. But you need to learn from that. So, you know, if I go take a photo, I want you guys to go and maybe recreate that, but then think, how can you do it differently or progress from that photo?
Yeah.
Because it's fine, everyone can go and take the same photo, but it's about how can you make it your own, you know, throwing that gradient filter on or putting a different tint on it, just to add that little bit of flair.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Thanks a lot.
We've ditched a bit early because we're fucking knackered. I mean, look, it's been a long day of moving. We got up at like 7:30. That's an exaggeration. We got up at 8. We got up at 8. Moved boxes all day, and you know, we walked about 30,000 steps now. So we dipped. We went to KFC. It was amazing. We had a great time today. We're very glad that we went. Got to meet a lot of amazing creators. I just spilled Fanta on myself. So I hope the little question segments where I interviewed each photographer were interesting or useful. Basically what I thought was, if I was somebody who would have liked to go to this meetup but didn't have the opportunity to, because maybe I'm in a different country, then I would have liked to maybe know what kind of conversations would have taken place if I had gone. So I took your questions from Instagram and some of my own questions that I thought of, and asked a couple of photographers. And yeah, I hope that was interesting, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.